Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went there? Or maybe you've struggled to recall a name that was just on the tip of your tongue. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Forgetfulness can be frustrating, and as we get older, it can feel like our memory just isn't what it used to be. But here's the good news. There are real, science-backed ways to sharpen your mind and keep those memory lapses to a minimum. Today, we're going to talk about why so many seniors struggle with forgetfulness, and more importantly, what you can do about it right now. Because memory loss isn't something you just have to accept as part of aging. In fact, small daily changes can make a huge difference in keeping your brain strong and sharp for years to come. Now, before we dive in, I want you to take a deep breath. This is not about making drastic, complicated lifestyle changes. The best habits for brain health are simple, practical, and easy to incorporate into your daily routine. And once you start doing them, you might just be surprised at how quickly you feel the difference. So let's start with something most people don't realize is affecting their memory: movement. That's right. Your brain and body are more connected than you think. You don't have to run marathons or lift heavy weights, but getting up and moving every single day is one of the best things you can do for your memory. Studies show that regular physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, which helps protect brain cells and even grow new ones. And the best part? It doesn't take much. Just 20 to 30 minutes of walking, stretching, or even dancing to your favorite music can give your brain a serious boost. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but I don't have the energy to exercise like I used to. That's okay. The key is to start small. Try standing up and stretching during TV commercials, taking a short walk after meals, or even just marching in place while you brush your teeth. It's about consistency, not intensity. The more you move, the better your brain will function. But movement is just one piece of the puzzle. Another major factor in memory loss that often gets overlooked is hydration. Our brains are made up of about 75% water, and even mild dehydration can lead to confusion, fatigue, and forgetfulness. The problem is, as we get older, our sense of thirst weakens. That means by the time you actually feel thirsty, your brain is already struggling to function at its best. So here's an easy fix. Make drinking water a habit, not an afterthought. Start your day with a glass of water before your coffee. Keep a bottle of water nearby throughout the day. And if plain water isn't appealing, add a slice of lemon or a splash of juice for flavor. Herbal teas and water-rich foods like cucumbers, oranges, and melons can also help keep you hydrated. And if you find yourself forgetting to drink water, set a reminder on your phone or leave a sticky note somewhere you'll see it often. Now that we've covered movement and hydration, let's talk about one of the most powerful and enjoyable ways to boost your memory: engaging your brain. The brain is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it weakens. But if you challenge it regularly, it grows stronger. The key is to mix things up and keep learning new things. Reading, doing puzzles, learning a new hobby, or even switching up your daily routine can keep your brain active and engaged. If you usually take the same route on your walk, try a new one. If you always cook the same meals, experiment with a new recipe. If you've ever wanted to learn a language or play an instrument, now is the perfect time to start. It's not about being perfect. It's about keeping your mind stimulated and engaged in new ways. And here's something fascinating. Social interaction plays a huge role in brain health too. Engaging in meaningful conversations, spending time with friends and family, and even chatting with a neighbor can help keep your memory sharp. Loneliness and isolation have been linked to cognitive decline. So staying connected isn't just good for your mood, it's good for your brain too. There's still so much more to cover, but for now, just remember this: small, daily changes can make a big difference. You don't have to accept forgetfulness as an inevitable part of aging. You have the power to keep your mind strong, sharp, and full of life. Now that we've talked about movement, hydration, and keeping your brain engaged, let's dig into something that plays a much bigger role in memory than most people realize: what you put on your plate. Food isn't just fuel for your body, it's fuel for your brain too. And just like putting the wrong kind of gas in your car can make the engine sputter, eating the wrong foods can make your brain sluggish and forgetful. The good news? There are some incredibly powerful brain-boosting foods that can help sharpen your memory and keep your mind clear and focused. Let's start with one of the biggest game changers, healthy fats. For years, fat got a bad reputation, but the truth is, your brain is made up of nearly 60% fat, and it needs the right kinds to function properly. Foods like salmon, walnuts, flax seeds, and avocados are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation, protect brain cells, and improve communication between neurons. In fact, research has shown that people who eat a diet rich in omega-3s have a lower risk of cognitive decline and memory problems as they age. So, if you've been avoiding fats because you were told they're bad for you, it's time to rethink that. Just make sure you're choosing the right ones. Natural, unprocessed fats from nuts, seeds, fish, and olive oil are your best bet. But just as important as what you do eat is what you don't eat. If there's one thing that can speed up memory loss, it's sugar. Now, I'm not talking about the natural sugars in fruit. I'm talking about added sugars, the kind hiding in sodas, pastries, processed foods, and even some so-called healthy snacks. Sugar causes inflammation in the brain, which can make it harder to think clearly and remember things. Ever felt foggy or forgetful after a sugar binge? That's not a coincidence. Cutting back on sugar doesn't mean you can never have a treat again. It just means being mindful. Swap out sugary snacks for healthier alternatives like dark chocolate, berries, or a handful of nuts. If you drink a lot of sugary beverages, try switching to herbal tea, lemon water, or even just reducing the amount of sugar you add to your coffee. Small changes add up, and your brain will thank you for it. And speaking of things your brain will thank you for, let's talk about one of the most underrated but powerful tools for preventing forgetfulness: sleep. Now, I know getting a good night's sleep isn't always easy. Whether it's restless legs, waking up in the middle of the night, or just not feeling tired enough to fall asleep, many people struggle to get the rest they need. But here's why it matters. When you sleep, your brain goes through a deep cleaning process, literally flushing out toxins that build up throughout the day. It's also when memories get stored and organized, which is why a bad night's sleep can leave you feeling scattered and forgetful. So what can you do if you're not sleeping well? First, make your bedroom a place for rest. Keep it cool, dark, and quiet. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. Avoid screens, TVs, phones, and tablets at least an hour before bed because the blue light they emit can mess with your body's natural sleep cycle. And if racing thoughts keep you up at night, try journaling or deep breathing before bed to calm your mind. If you've ever felt like you're doing everything right but still struggling with forgetfulness, there's one more thing to consider: stress. When we're constantly worrying, overthinking, or feeling anxious, our brain shifts into survival mode, making it harder to focus, learn, and remember things. Chronic stress actually shrinks the part of the brain responsible for memory, which is why people who are under a lot of stress often feel mentally foggy. The best way to fight back? Find ways to relax that work for you. Whether it's deep breathing, meditation, listening to music, or spending time in nature, anything that helps you feel calm will also help your brain stay sharp. Even just laughing with a friend or watching a funny movie can lower stress hormones and improve brain function. By now, you can probably see a pattern. Taking care of your brain isn't about making one big change. It's about small daily habits that work together to keep your memory strong. The more of these habits you incorporate, the sharper, clearer, and more focused you'll feel. Now that we've talked about food, sleep, and stress, there's one last thing we need to address. Something that might be the most important of all when it comes to memory and brain health, and that's connection. You see, the human brain wasn't designed to work in isolation. It thrives on connection, conversation, and interaction. And yet, as we get older, it becomes all too easy to slip into routines that don't challenge our minds socially. Maybe friends move away, maybe family gets busy, or maybe we just don't feel like putting in the effort to get out and engage with others. But here's the truth. Loneliness is one of the biggest risk factors for memory decline, and even more alarming, it's been linked to a higher risk of dementia. That's because when we engage in conversation, real conversation, where we listen, think, and respond, our brains get a workout. We're processing information, recalling memories, forming new thoughts, and even picking up on subtle emotional cues. It's like exercise for the mind. And the more we do it, the stronger our cognitive abilities remain. So if you've been feeling isolated or disconnected, now is the time to take action. Call an old friend, join a group, volunteer, or even just make small talk with neighbors or people at the grocery store. If mobility or transportation is an issue, technology can be a great bridge. Video calls, online groups, or even just sending voice messages can keep you engaged. But connection isn't just about other people. It's also about staying connected to your purpose. Having a reason to get up in the morning, a project to work on, or something that excites you can make a huge difference in your brain health. Studies show that people who stay mentally and emotionally engaged in something meaningful, whether it's a hobby, a cause, or even learning something new, have stronger memories and better mental clarity as they age. So ask yourself, what's something that brings you joy? What's something you've always wanted to try? Maybe it's painting, writing, gardening, playing music, or even picking up a new language. It's never too late to challenge your brain in new ways, and the more you do, the sharper your mind will be. At the end of the day, preventing forgetfulness isn't about doing one thing perfectly. It's about doing a handful of simple things consistently. Staying active, eating the right foods, getting quality sleep, reducing stress, and keeping your mind engaged through social connection and purpose. These habits work together like a team to keep your brain in top shape. And here's the best part. It's never too late to start. No matter where you are in your journey, no matter how forgetful you've been feeling lately, your brain has the ability to grow, heal, and strengthen itself. But it needs you to take the first step. So if something in this video resonated with you, pick one thing, just one, and start today. Maybe it's drinking more water, maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk, or maybe it's calling an old friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Whatever it is, your future self will thank you for it. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for more tips on staying sharp, healthy, and independent as you age. I'd love to hear from you, too. What's one thing you do to keep your memory strong? Drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation going. Here's to a sharp mind, a strong memory, and a life full of energy and purpose, because you deserve nothing less.